Anil here.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
all. Okay, okay. No
Good
need
morning,
to.
sir.
Good,
Good morning,
good.
sir.
Good morning, sir. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody. And now we shall start with the program. I pass the
Morning.
stage now to Sidhish. Sidhish, you may please start.
Sir.
Yes. Music is an expression of individuality. It's how you see the world. All art is, for that matter. You take how you experience the world, interpret it, and send it out there. Express it, whether it is sculpture, dance, or singing. Good morning, one and all present here. Today, I, Sudhish, along with my co-compare Yashashwini, take pleasure to welcome you all to the most looked for and electrifying event of the year, Spik Make Virasat 2020. Spik Make stands for the Society for the Promotion of Indian Classical Music and Culture amongst the youth. It was established by Dr. Kiran Seth in 1977 at IIT Delhi. It is a voluntary youth movement which promotes intangible aspects of Indian classical heritage by promoting Indian classical music, classical dance, folk music, yoga, meditation, craft, and other aspects of Indian culture. It is a movement with chapter in over 300 towns all over the world.
Virasat is one of the main cultural festivals of Spik Make, comprising an eclectic mixtures of all aspects of Indian cultural heritage. Virasat, literally meaning heritage in Hindi, was launched for the first time in Dehradun in 1995 and is held annually during the first half of the academic year. Educational institutions across the country and abroad celebrate this annual affair. The events showcase a wide variety of Indian culture, beginning from the folk and classical dance and music forms to cinema screenings, heritage walks, handicraft workshops, theatre programs, etc. It is a matter of great pleasure that today we are organizing the first chain of events for Virasat 2020.
Bharatnatyam, previously called as Sadira Attam, is a major form of Indian classical dance that is indigenous to Tamil Nadu. Bharatnatyam is the oldest classical dance tradition in India. It was nurtured in the temples and courts of southern India since ancient times. It expresses South Indian religious themes and spiritual ideas, particularly of Shaivism, Vaishnavism, and Shaktism. Bharatanatyam style is noted for its fixed upper torso, bent legs, and knees flexed, combined with spectacular footwork and a sophisticated vocabulary of sign language based on gestures of hands, eyes, and face muscles. The dance has traditionally been a form of an interpretive narration of mythical legends and spiritual ideas from the Hindu texts.
Stating that on today we all are blessed to have the very famous, renowned, and talented Bharatnatyam artist, Dr. Ananda Shankar Jayant amongst us. Ananda Shankar Jayant is a classical Indian dancer, choreographer, scholar, and bureaucrat known for her proficiency in the classical dance forms of Bharatnatyam and Kuchipudi. Ananda Shankar, born in Tamil Brahmin family of Tirunelveli district of Tamil Nadu, to G.S. Shankar, an officer with Indian Railways, and Subhashini, a school teacher and musician, was brought up in Hyderabad and did her early education at St. Anne's High School. She started learning classical dance at the age of 4 under Sharad Keshav Rao and later K.N. Pakkir Pillai. And in 1972, at the humble age of 11, she joined Kalakshetra of Rukmini Devi Arundalai, where she trained in Bharatnatyam under teachers such as Padma Bal Gopal, Sharad Hoffman, and Krishnavini Lakshman. After 6 years of study, she secured her diploma and postgraduate diploma from an institution in disciplines of Bharatnatyam, Carnatic music, Veena, dance theory, and philosophy. She returned to Hyderabad at the age of 17 and founded Shankar Nandi Kalakshetra, a dance school with 8 students that now has grown into an eminent dance academy. She is also a recipient of Sangeet Natak Academy Award, Kalaimanan Award of the Government of Tamil Nadu, and Kalaratna Award of the Government of Andhra Pradesh. The Government of India has awarded ma'am the 4th highest civilian honor of Padma Shri in 2007 for her contribution to arts. Before I have the honor of welcoming ma'am to take over, may I please request our audience to drop any questions they have during the entire session in the chat box available, please. And I'm sure with this beautiful dance form or an even beautiful dance performer we have today, there'll be a lot of curiosity that will come along with today's exciting session. With due respect and honor, I heartily invite the Padma Shri and Sangeet Natak Academy awardee, Dr. Ananda Shankar Jayant ma'am, to inspire us, enlighten us, and infuse our day with her presence. Please, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Umesh ji, namaskar. Babita ji, namaskar. And all the young ones there, all the gurus, all the teachers, the acharyas. On a Saturday morning, it's lovely to see such bright young faces smiling. And thank you for that lovely introduction, Yashaswini. Thank you so much. I also invite my student, Neha Satyanapalli, who's here. You can wave your hand, who's going to help me show some of the movements. So good morning to everyone. Yes, how many of you are dancers? I see a big bunch. I can't see everyone, but many of you have learned dance. Some of you know a little bit of dance. You like watching dance, or is it only television dance? You all like dance. Okay, so now what I'll do is, the title of my topic is storytelling through classical dance. We all love stories, don't we? How many of you don't like stories? All of us love stories. So let's start with the dance story, correct? So the story of dance goes thus. It is believed that once upon a time, when mankind had everything in their favor, they tended to not look at the Almighty, look at the divine presence among them. And they became very materialistic. At that point of time, Brahma decided that we must bring these mankind to the divinity, not to become lost in material, chasing the material. And he decided to bring the essence of the 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva Vedas together into what is called the 5th Veda, the Natya Veda. Then that was taught to Rishi Bharata, and he in turn taught it to his 100 disciples. And then it is said that, you know, they went and performed, like your school annual day, he went and performed the Sagara Manthan story, the story of the churning of the mighty ocean in front of Lord Shiva and Parvati, in front of, at the Indra Dwajastamba festival. And there, like a good guru, Lord Shiva said, come on, let me teach you. You all are dancing very well, but let me teach you Tandava. And Parvati said, let me teach you Lasya. And that's how the whole idea of classical dance, its formatting, what is its context, what is its content, what is its grammar. See, when you learn a language, you learn grammar, you learn idiom, you learn how to use words, how do you use sentences, how you write essays, how do you tell a story. So this is what happened. So slowly and steadily, the context of dance became nicely built up. So that's a little small background story. From there, if you go to any temple in India, at least in South India, you will still see a lot of the sculptures, which are actually the frozen elements of dance. After the dance is completed, the frozen element. It's like taking a picture. Imagine if you take a picture, if you finish a dance and you take a picture of a pose, what will happen? That became the sculpture. So dance continued to engage human beings from time immemorial, for many, many, many centuries. And from then till now, till little all of you, we all continue to dance the same dance. It's the dance of freedom. It's the dance of telling stories. It's the dance of connecting to your motherland. It's a dance of telling the stories of your motherland, of this great country, Bharatavarsha. And it's about carrying that story forward, not just listening, but telling it to people, carrying it to your children and your grandchildren. You're all children still, but tomorrow you will hear the story. When you have children, you will tell the same story. So it's a kind of a storytelling that continues through the format of dance, through the format of music, through sculpture, through painting. I mean, so many. But today we'll stick to the format of dance. Right? So now you will tell me, what is this, ma'am? How can you tell stories through dance? What is this? So what do we have here to tell stories through dance? I remember I told you we have grammar, but I wish we can show the dance, but because we are all on webinar, you can't get up and dance. So I'm going to ask my dear little student Neha, who's also just in class 11. She's also like you, but she has finished her Ranga Pravesh. And so she's going to show us some mudras. Okay, mudras are hand gestures. Now you'll ask me, what, ma'am, what is this hand gesture? Don't you do hand gestures? Tell me. Supposing you like your teacher, you will say Facebook mudra. Neha, you want to show the Facebook mudra? The Facebook mudra? Right. We all do Facebook mudra. It's not called Facebook mudra, it's called Shikara. So like that, we have so many mudras which will tell us something. Supposing you're in school, and Neha, you can carry the story forward. You're in class and you don't want your teacher to know that you're talking and you're hungry. How will you show it, Neha? With your expression and with your hands, maybe you can say, shh, just talking. So you'll use your hands, you'll use your mudras. So like that, with each mudra, you will learn how to say stories. So for example, let us ask Neha, what are these mudras? What are the grammar that we talk about, right? In ABCD, whatever alphabets, then you have, prepositions. The grammar of mudra. Would you like to share the single hand gestures? Yeah, go ahead. Switch on your mic and try it out. Yeah.
पताकस्त्रिपताको अर्धपताक कर्तरी मुखः
Bring your hand a little closer. Bring your hand a little closer.
मयूराख्यो अर्धचन्द्रश्च अराळशुकतुण्डकः मुष्टिश्च शिखराख्यश्च कपित्तकटकमुखः सूची चन्द्रकला पद्मकोश सर्पशिरस्तथा मृगशीर्ष सिंहमुखः काङ्गूलश्च अलपद्मकः चतुरो भ्रमरश्चैव हंसास्यो हंसपक्षकः सन्दंशौ मुकुलश्चैव ताम्रचूट त्रिशूलकः.
So they're just names of the different mudras. Okay. So supposing I ask Neha to show what is it we can do, say, with a patakam. So what can we show in patakam, Neha? Can you show me 2, 3? Keep it within the camera. Keep it within the camera. Yeah.
Show flag.
Very good.
Salute.
That's modern. So that's a modern one. So you can show a flag. You can say namaste. That of course is a dual hand gesture. You can show I. How will you show I? Mine. Okay. And then you can say quiet. Tushnim bhavani darshane. Don't talk. This is what we tell. Teachers want to tell the children, don't talk, and children are talking behind their mouth, behind their hands, isn't it? Okay. Supposing I ask you to show Tripataka, Neha, will you take a Tripataka? Now, can you show a tree with it? A tree, a branch of the tree. Can you show a crown? A makuta? Bring it down. I think you need to go a little behind. Yeah. Problem of webinars. Yeah. Makuta. Okay. Putting on a crown. Supposing I ask you to pick up an Alapadma. What is an Alapadma? Can you show again? With your left hand, you can show Alapadma. And with your right hand, you show Katakamuka. Now, what can you do with it? Pluck flowers. Okay, do we pluck flowers like that? Can you imagine the flower and the basket? Okay, can you tie the flowers, Neha? Right. Have you seen a gardener or a pool wala tie flowers? See how they tie. They use their hands like this. Okay. Now, supposing I want to show eyes. How will you show eyes? To show eyes. So we show eyes like this. Supposing in your school also you will say eyes. So we show it with a little more clarity. Okay. Now, supposing you want to show a bird, Neha, say you say Tamrachuda. Which kind of a bird will you be? Will that be a bird? No, I'm told that's a crow. Can you show me a crow, Neha? Supposing you want to show a camel, what will you do? You take the hand up and it becomes a camel. So simple usage of hands becomes helpful for storytelling. Now let's look at what she can do with two hands, right? Two hands together. So can we try that, Neha? Yeah.
Anjalischa kapotascha karkat swastikasthatha bolahasta pushpaputah utsanga shilingakaha katakavardhaнаschaiva kartari swastikastatha shakatam shakra chakre cha samputa pasha kilakau matsya पूर्णो वराहश्च गरुडो नागबन्धकः खट्वा बेरुण्डकाख्यश्च अवहितस्तदैव च.
So it's just to give an example, because to show you more, I will need to go into a physical space. So we will try and see what we can do with this. So that is one part of the grammar. The other part of the grammar is, of course, footwork, is tal, is laya, is body movement, is expression. Okay, so let's look at tal, because in the webinar format, let's look at what we can play with. Okay? When we look at tal or rhythm, the rhythm is an important part of dance. You will agree with me, right? So when we look at rhythm, the rhythms go in the way of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ta, kit, ta, 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 ta. Would you like to try it? Ta, kit, ta, 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 ta. Now, supposing I want to say 4, then we say ta, ka, dhim, di, ta, ka, dhim, di, ta, ka, dhim, di, ta, ka, jun, ta, ka, dhim, di, ta, ka, jun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Ta, ka, dhim, di, ta, ka, jun, ta, ka, dhim, di, ta, ka, dhim, ta. Got it? Now, supposing I want to say 5, it's called, the first one is called Tishra. 3, Tishra. 4, Chaturashra. 5, Khanda. Takka, ta, kitta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Takka, ta, kitta. Takka, ta, kitta, takka, ta, kitta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Takka, ta, kitta, takka, ta, kitta, takka, ta, kitta, takka, ta, kitta, ta. Try it out. Takka, ta, kitta. Why don't you try it? Can you all try it without? Can you all try it with your sounds on? Let's try it out. Put on your sounds and say ta, kitta, ta, kitta. Shall we try? Come on. 1, 2, 3, go. Ta, kitta, ta, kitta, ta, yeah, so much. There's so much delay. Your talents are coming late. Okay. You can switch off your audio. This is just to give you an idea. Okay, now we did takita, we did takadimi, that is 4. Then we did takatakita, which is 5. Now let's go to 7. Takadimi, takita. So it's 4 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Takadimi, takita, takadimi, takita. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then the 9, 4 and 5. Simple. Takadimi, taka, takita. Takadimi, taka, takita. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Takadimi, taka, takita. Takadimi, taka. So these are the 5 basic numbers that we play with. Permutation combinations will keep on happening within the time. Okay. Now that is put on to the body. The body is trained to do different kinds of movements. Standing, sitting, bending, turning, jumping, walking, all that we do as human beings. Plus, we add rhythm. Plus, we add mathematics, the numbers that you do. We go on to play with expression. Okay, so for that expression, I will ask Neha to show some facial expressions to the Navarasas. The Navarasas are the 9 emotions that are described in the book Natya Shastra. Did I tell you about the book Natya Shastra? No, I didn't. It is said that
Yes, ma'am.
all. Did I? Okay. The Natya Shastra is a codified text of all dramaturgy, and it is there. I don't think we should present now. Yeah. It is there. It's available online. You can look at it. It tells us so many ways of how we should look at the art form and the way it's presented. Okay. But coming back to expression, let's look at Neha. Let's look at 9 emotions. Okay. The Sanskrit shlokam is Shringara Hasya Karuna, Raudra Veera Bhayanaka, Bhibatsa Adbhuta Shantascha, Rasa Purvai Rudahrita. Raudra. Why Raudra? Anger. Why anger? Because बहुत जल्दी आ जाता है ना गुस्सा. बैठे बैठे गुस्सा आ जाता है सबको. है कि नहीं? Yes or no? Nobody is smiling. Okay. So let's start with anger. Raudra. How will you show Raudra? Yeah. Big eyes. Roll your eyes. Any other move like this movement? So you get upset. You get angry. You say, why did I not get my sandwich on time? Why did I not get first mark in class? You get angry. So, Raudra. After Raudra, what happens? The next expression, I think, should be fear. Because your teacher said, that's not the way to talk, my dear. Right? So you get afraid. Bhayanaka. Oh my God. I shouldn't have said it. Oh my God. We all do that, isn't it? We use our eyes. We said, ups, let me not talk too much. And suddenly, you go on a picnic and you see the beautiful mountain, you see the beautiful deer. And what happens to you? You're wonderstruck. Adbhuta. How will you show Adbhuta? Wow. Huh? We say wow for everything. Wow for sandwich. Wow for mountain. Wow for teacher. Hai na? So it's Adbhuta. Wow. It's fantastic. Lovely. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Oh my God. Right? So it's Adbhuta. And then you don't like the food your mom sent in your dabba. So what happens? You say, yak. It becomes Bibhatsa. How do you show Bibhatsa? Oh no, not roti again. Oh no. So it's disgust. Ish, I don't like it. You know, something you don't like. Or maybe when you're going on a road and maybe the water is overflowing and you're like, yuck. Okay? Bibhatsa. And then sometimes you suddenly feel sad. Maybe you didn't get the marks you liked. Maybe your friend left your city and went to another city. But Annie, you're a little upset and sad. So you feel like crying or you feel sad. Okay? So it is karuna. You feel sad. Or you feel compassionate. Karuna is actually compassion, but the basic mood is sadness. So you tell your friend, no, my dear, don't feel sad. So you feel compassion. And then we are always giggling in class. We're always finding jokes to laugh in. So how do you laugh? Hasya. Either you laugh like this, teacher shouldn't know, or like that. So different ways of laughing. Different ways. Laughter. Or you crack a joke and you're laughing. Nowadays in WhatsApp, all jokes are coming. So you'll be laughing all the time. And then there is peace. You want shanta. Abhi mujhe chodo na, mujhe shanti chahiye. So you're going into focusing and pray. So let's look at it. Can we do the expressions? Can we all try the expressions together? Let's do anger, Raudra. Come on, roll your eyes, everybody. Raudra. Do it. I'm fine with it. Show open your eyes. Aren't you not angry with anyone today? Okay, be angry with someone. Yes, without smiling, beta. If you smile and if I do this, it's not anger. Anger. Okay? Fear. Show me fear. Fear. Wow, wonder. Adbhuta. Bhibatsa. Yak. Yak. Sad. Karuna. Oh, we forgot one. Veera. Valor. All you children want to be valorous. You want to be the school captain. You want to be first in games. You want to be the brave boy. You want to save the girls. You want to save the dogs. So, valor. It's Veera. You're the boys. You're the children who will think of the army. Think of the Air Force. Sing how much you love them, how much you look up to them. You say, wow, they are our heroes, isn't it? So, it's valor. So, that is the fifth one. The sixth one is sadness, karuna, or compassion. Then hasya. And then shringara, love. You all are too young to fall in love. Or maybe you're all in love. I don't know. But maybe shringara, love. Love between mommy and daddy. Love between you siblings. Love between friends. Love is what we all want. We want a loving dog. We want a loving cat. We want loving parents. We want loving friends. We want to be happy with everybody. So, Shringara. But Shringara is actually the love of, say, a man and a woman. The love. Okay? And Shanta, peace. So, anger, Raudra. Bhayanaka, fear. Okay? Adbhuta, wonder. Bhibatsa, disgust. Veera, valor. Karuna, sadness or compassion. Hasya, humor. Shringara, love. And Shanta, peace. So now these are the expressions which we put together and we'll tell you the story. Okay? So today I thought I will tell you many stories that we can talk about. But today I thought to talk about, since we are in Ayodhya, right? You're all near Ayodhya? Are you all in the Ayodhya district? Right.
Yes.
So, and this is a story that the whole country and the whole of mankind love. What's the story? The story of Sri Rama. Right? So today I wanted to show you the story of Sri Rama in little bits and pieces as done by Neha when she danced in her Arangetram, which is her Rangapravesh, which was last November. Okay, so we show some small clippings. Now, let me tell you, Ramayana has been written by so many writers. So many writers have written about the Ramayana. Valmiki, Tulsi ji, Kambar, so many writers. But we are not going into all those details. I thought we should take up a song by a great king, Swati Tirunal, who ruled, who was almost at your age. He lived between 1819 and 1846. He ruled in Kerala, a very renowned king, administrator, someone everyone looks up to. But more importantly, he knew so many languages and he composed amazing music in Sanskrit and in Malayalam and in Hindi also. So today I thought we'll take one song of that great Vageyakara and great king, and we'll talk about it. And which brings the story of Rama very easily. So the song goes thus: Bhavayami Raghuramam Bhavya Sugunaramam Bavuka Vitarana Para Apanga Leela Lasita. It talks about the beauty of Rama. Then we all know the story that Rama was supposed to be crowned, Rama married Sita by breaking the bow. Okay, so I am going to ask Neha to play that video, and as she's doing it, we will figure out what's happening. Okay, so you all know the story. Rama goes, breaks a bow, and gets married to Sita. Now, what would have happened before Rama himself broke the bow? What happened? Right? Let's try it out. Okay, Neha, video 1.
Janaka
He tries to break the bow, and then Rama comes. Just watch. He says it's just worth my little finger can do it with it. Can't do it. Okay. He releases his 20 hands. He tries to lift it. And it falls. Very angry and embarrassed. So Vishwamitra says, Rama, why don't you do it? Breaks the bow in a simple rhythmic context, and look at Sita looking at him. He's looking comfortable. Then they take the walk around the fire, which is the traditional way of a Hindu marriage. So that was one video which tells you the story. So what all did you see there? You saw the whole story of am I on? Yeah. You saw the whole the beginning story of Janaka telling, here's the bow, whoever strings it will marry Sita. Then what happens? The different kings come. The first king says, कोई बात नहीं, हम कर लेंगे. फिर आगे आता है और डर जाता है. इतना बड़ा बो देके वो तो इतना डर जाता है कि वो टच भी नहीं करता, भाग जाता है. ठीक है? Then Ravana comes, he says, मैं करता हूँ. तो Ravana आता है and he says, ये तो मेरे छोटे फिंगर से भी, I can lift it with my little finger, but नहीं होता है. And then he tries with all his hands, फिर भी नहीं होता. थोड़ा he tries to lift it, but it falls on him. And then Vishwamitra says, Rama, you go. With just a look, he says, go. And then what happens? Rama just breaks it in one small rhythmic thing. It was simple because for him it's very simple. And then Sita is looking at him from the balcony, from her room, behind the curtain. And she is already in love with him. And she comes and okay, क्या बोलते हो? जय माला पहनाते हैं और शादी होता है. And they go around the fire. So see how simply the story is beautifully told of Ramayana. Now what happens next? We all know what happens next. They go to the forest. They are asked to go to the forest. Vanvas ho jata hai. So what happens when they go to Vanvas? They meet Guha, right? They meet Guha, who helps them cross the Ganga, right? So that scene we will see now. Okay, Neha, next video. So just see how, without even a boat, You see all the characters coming and how they will cross the river by Guha helping them cross the river. Yes, Neha, go ahead. That's Mantara. I want to. Says I want 2 vows. You promise? Give it to me. Let them go for 14 years to the forest. There they go. Rama, Sita, Lakshmana. That's Guha. I'll cross the river. I'll help you cross the river. Come into my boat. That's Lakshmana getting into the boat. That's Sita stepping into the boat with Rama's help. And Rama gets into the boat. Guha releases the boat side and then boating away. Lakshmana boating. This is Chitrakuta. What happens in Chitrakuta? Bharata comes working for them. Bharata fought Rama. He says, I don't want the kingdom. You kindly come back. He says, Rama says, no, I have promised. I can't come back. Bharata says, give me Paduka or give me a footwear. I will rule in the name of God. If your Paduka will rule. So Rama blesses the footwear. And what does Bharata do? Takes the Paduka, the footwear, and puts it on his head because he has so much bhakti for Rama. And he goes back to Ayodhya and rules Ayodhya in the name of Rama. Okay, so so this is how the whole story of of 4 of them crossing, 3 of them plus the boatman crossing, is shown by one person. Did you understand that? Was it easy for you to understand that? The boating, the valor of Lakshmana, the grace of Sita, the valor of Rama, the bhakti of Guha, the way they cross, and how it happens. So it's easy with just a little expression, with emotion, with mudra, with movement. A whole story is told in so simple a way. Okay, so let's take the story forward. We can't leave Rama in the middle of Chitrakuta, right? We have to take the story forward. So what happens next in Chitrakuta? The deer comes, right? The golden deer comes. The golden deer comes and entices Rama. Sita wants it. Sita sends, request Rama, please get it for me. Rama goes behind the golden. And then what happens? Uchhal karta hai. Pata hai na, when Rama kills the golden deer, he shouts, hey Ram, hey Lakshman, hey Sita. Sorry, he doesn't say Ram. He says, hey Lakshman, hey Sita. And Sita thinks it's Rama. And she sends Lakshmana away to the forest. And Lakshmana says, please don't cross this protection line I'm drawing. Please don't cross it. I will come back. And they go. But what happens? Ravana comes in the way of a sannyasi, and he asks for alms. And Sita is asked to step out of the line. She stepped out and she's taken away. Right? So let's look at this excerpt. Neha? Sita tries to capture the beautiful deer. Rama. दिलाके दो ना वो, please. It's okay. So Rama realizes this is not a deer. The deer is still and chal karta hai. Sita, hey Lakshmana. Rama says, oh my God. What happened? Why is someone else presenting? Neha, you want to check what? Why did someone else present? Don't present others. If you are presenting like that, it will become difficult. Otherwise, we have to start the video all over again. Okay, just forward it and take it, Neha. If you can do that again. Only one presentation can happen, so don't touch the camera. It will become a problem. Okay. Okay. It's okay. Take it from there. Hey Sita, hey Lakshmana. Children, you should stop presenting. If you keep touching the camera and keep presenting, we can't present. You must not touch your laptop. Move. Don't touch your laptop. If you touch your laptop, I can't show anything. Hold your hands together. Don't touch your laptop, because we are trying to present, and if you present, then the second presentation only will come and it will be disturbing. Yeah, last time, otherwise we will not do any presentation. Please don't touch the laptop. Yeah. Lakshmana says, don't cross the line I've drawn. Lakshmana Rekha ko bahar mein jana. then Ravan comes. Look at the change in the body line. He changes his look. He becomes a sannyasi. Look at the way he's walking with arrogance. What does he say? Dikshan Dehi. That is a bad fellow who tries to look at her. She starts crying in her little kutia. She comes out and she gives it to him. And he says, no, I can't come out of this. But he insists. So, great nervousness. She crosses the Lakshman Rekha and Ravana takes it to full form and takes her away. This is called Sita Apaharan scene. And Rama is searching. Okay, there are a lot of other stories, but we are just showing you little excerpts. So the final excerpt of the Ramayana, what happens? Rama meets Sugriva, Hanuman, and they all, Hanuman is sent to Lanka. He finds out that Sita is kept captive in Ashokavana. He gives Rama's ring to Sita. He brings back Sita's Chudamani and gives it to Rama. And Rama and the Vanarasena and Jambavan and all of them go towards Lanka to bring back Sita to defeat Ravana and bring back Sita. So when they go to the edge of the Bharatavarsha, we all know there is an ocean there, so they have to cross it, isn't it? So what happens there? Setu Bandhana. The Vanarasena builds a bridge of stones across the river. It's called Adam's Shoal. All of you know that in geography. So it is crossed. So let's see how they build it, how the war happens, Rama and Ravana, and how Sita is brought back, and how the Pattabhishekam happens. The last excerpt. There is an ocean. They decide, how do I build it? Rama blesses the Vanaras. Look at the ocean. See how they're lifting the stick and rolling it. Big stone. We all get ready to cross the bridge. Now see how they cross the bridge, one after the other. First the monkeys go. All the... Now the monkeys. Rama and Lakshmana on the shoulders, and he goes. Okay, the Yuddha. This is Rama. The Yuddha is happening. Rama, Ravana, Yuddha. See how the jatis are being used to show the one. That's how Ravana is killed. Abhimana to Ayodhya. तो क्या होता है अयोध्या में? पट्टाभिषेक होता है रामा वशिष्ठा Abhisheka for Rama. Places the mukuta or the crown on Rama. On the throne, Rama is sitting. Lakshmana, Sarpuna, Bharata, all are there. And the beautiful Vishwaku umbrella. Who else is there?
Baba
that was in short, little excerpts the Ramayana. So what I'm trying to share here today is how we use expression, how we use mudras, how we use rhythm, how we use body, how we use numbers, how we use mathematics, all this put together finally to tell you a story. So today we told you one story. There are millions of stories that dancers tell. Krishna ki katha, Ram ki katha, Ramji ki katha, so many Shiva Tandav stories, stories and stories and stories. Because stories is what it gets carried from generation to generation. These stories tell us our values, tell us our history, tell us our culture, tell us who we are. It is not just koi kahani. We learn a lot of lessons from these stories. So I would advise all of you to go and watch dance, listen to music, because in the Indian stories, Indian classical dance, Indian classical music, folk songs, folk dance, go and watch it, go and listen to it. And you will find so many exciting stories to listen to create, to understand, isn't it? So you saw how the deer jumped, how it was devious. You saw in her eye. I was seeing expressions of all of you. You were all understanding. So it's a simple way to tell stories. So coming back to the topic, storytelling through dance. This is what I picked for you today. But today's day and age, all of you are so busy studying, so busy with your college, with your school. You all forget to train, to learn an art form. You must try and learn, children. You must learn some art form because that connects you to your roots. Your roots are there in that culture. And that culture is so easy to understand if you are able to connect to it, to some art form. Kuch to seekhiye. Music, dance, painting, sculpture, embroidery, kuch to seekhiye. Don't just get caught just in study is good. I've also studied. I'm also dancing. I'm also a senior officer. हो सकता है. It's not. Don't tell yourself कि नहीं होगा मैडम, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है. ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं. 24 घंटे बहुत ज्यादा होता है ना? बहुत कुछ होता है. हम बेकार में we waste time on Facebook, on Instagram. Instead, spend time to learn something. Once you learn something, your roots will form. Without roots, there's no tree, isn't it? You all know biology, botany, you all know that. Without a root, there's no tree, there's no flower. So build your roots, okay? So I will take a few questions now. I want to see the chat, if there's any questions. Yeah, it's all good morning. Very nice. Any questions from all of you?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I shall be giving the questions to you first.
Okay, great.
So
do that.
Truly said, without roots, there is no tree. Thank you so very much, ma'am. The stories, the tales, and then your narration, the session could not have been any more exciting. And also, loads of gratitude to the phenomenal performer, ma'am Neha Satanpillai, for demonstrating us the mudras, the expressions so wonderfully well. You indeed added the tinge of a live performance zeal to this virtual webinar. And albeit how ancient and complex this art is, it's the people like you both who keep it alive and thriving with their extraordinary efforts. And now, as ma'am said, that we'll be having the pleasure of commencing the question answer round. We do have a lot of keen questions, and the first one is posed by a 7th grader, Manasvi, that in today's academically competitive era, how do we incentivize the young minds to explore and cherish art forms like that of Bharatnatyam?
Actually, it is very simple. There is no incentivize. What I suggest is you must look at it as another facet building. Just like you study in school and you go to sports and you build your body or you build your stamina. Similarly, you build the stamina of your mind. You build the stamina of your spirit through your learning an art form. You might think it is very ancient, but the art form is continuously modern. You saw a modern girl just like you. Yashaswini, which class are you in?
11th.
Oh, so she's in your class, the same class. Are you in 11th now or you've gone into 12th, Neha? 12. Okay, she's almost there. So when Neha can do it, when she can understand, so can all of you. She's also a very high performer in school. But what happens is when you learn something, an art form, your mind doesn't get distracted into unwanted rubbish. बहुत कुछ rubbish है बाहर, WhatsApp, Instagram. It's good, have fun, but you must also learn to. I think there's some sound. You must also learn to. So it's nothing. Find time, do it. It's good for you. It's good for the future. Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. And I'll just move on to the next question, which says that a few students collectively have a concern, ma'am, or a myth, we can say, that if the practice of Bharatnatyam is not continued throughout life, it may lead to obesity. And how true is that?
That's all not true. That can be true for anything. बहुत खाओ मोटे हो जाओ ऐसी कुछ नहीं है. And today's day and age, all children are very, very smart. They all exercise. You eat sensibly. So there's nothing about if I practice and I leave, I'll put on weight. That will happen to you if you don't exercise. That's it. And it also depends on metabolism, your family's metabolism, the kind of food you eat, the kind of how much you burn it. So don't get caught in these kind of traps. Eat well, eat healthy, don't diet unnecessarily, eat properly, eat healthy food, and don't eat. What I will advise you not to eat is junk food. Don't eat junk food, your Coca-Cola, all that you avoid. That is what leads to obesity, not stopping dance. Eating junk is what leads to, because it is junk. That's it. A Coca-Cola is good to, I mean, I'm told in some study that it's wonderful to, it's good to flush, good to use as a flush. But but I don't want to go there. The point is, we must appreciate that our bodies are Indian. Our metabolism is an Indian metabolism, which is used to Indian food. So please respect that and try to avoid your junk food as much as possible. Eat healthy, stay exercised, with your sports, with exercise, with art, with anything. And more importantly, keep yourself happy. Okay, so there's that is a misnomer. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm sure that was just a myth. And now there's a girl, Mukti of class 7th, who pleads you to demonstrate the Shiru Bheda. Now,
Shiru Bheda. You want to do it, Neha, or you want me to do it? You'll do it, Neha? Okay, I will announce. Okay. Samam udvahitam adho mukam alolitam dutam kampitam cha paravrittam ukshiptam parivahitam. There you go. Different ways of moving the head. Straight, side, roll, say no, look upward, look downward. That's it.
that is Shiru Bheda. Okay. And now
Shiru Bheda means differences of using the head. You saw the hands. So from head to toe we use. Okay, head. You want to show the neck, Neha? Okay. Sundari cha. Doesn't she look beautiful? Sundari cha tiraschina tathaiva parivartita prakampita, like a bird. Look at the bird's movement. Bhavagye neya griva chaturvida. So you saw the head, you saw the neck, then there are eyes, and then you go to the hands, the mudras, and then you go to the body, and then the feet, and the rhythm, and then the story. So it's a long journey. How many years have you been learning, Neha? 10 years. 13 years. So she's been learning since she was 6, huh? No, can't be 13 years. 13. Okay. No, you can't be. How old are you? She forgot her age. 12 years. Okay, done. So it's up. It is like that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So for the next question, I'll pass on the stage to Sudhesh. He has some certain questions. Sudhesh, please go on.
Yes, ma'am. And the next question comes from Rashi Mishra of class 7. And the question is, what was the most difficult part in your career as a dancer?
Difficult ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. There's nothing called difficult. Difficult is a state of mind. You think it's difficult. You think it's easy, right? For those of us who love maths is easy. Someone like me who hates maths is most difficult. So it's all a state of mind. So I don't think there was anything difficult in that sense. Yes, when I joined service, it was a little, I would not call it, I want to use a different word, not difficult. It took me a little while to adjust my time, adjust my practice, because office also demands that. So it's about negotiating that space. So I think if you want to do something, nothing can stop you. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I completely agree with you. And the next question comes from Kamakshi Srivastav. And ma'am, she asked that, who inspired you to become a Bharatnatyam dancer?
My mother, I joined Bharatnatyam at the age of 4. And from there, I learned from Sharda Kesharao. Then I went to another guru who had come to Hyderabad. And then I went to Kalakshetra in Chennai. Many of you might have heard of this great institution. Kalakshetra is a very renowned institution by Rukmini Devi Arundel. So I went there when I was 11. From 11 to 17, I studied Bharatnatyam. And you won't believe, you might be thinking, ma'am, what about school? I did school privately. I did school completely privately. I did pre-university privately. I did graduation privately. And after that, I went on to do my master's and my MPhil and my PhD and went on to write the UPSC exam and join the service. And I continued to dance. So the point is, if you have a will, there is a way. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I think we can wind up in
And the
another
next
5 minutes.
question-
Yeah, five minutes. Yeah, right.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sure, ma'am. And the next question is from one of our audience, and the question is, and what has been your most memorable moment on the stage?
Well, most memorable is I have performed in Rashtrapati Bhavan for a president we all love, Dr. Kalam. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had invited me to perform in Rashtrapati Bhavan on 21st of June 2007, and that's an amazing experience I have had. I've had the experience of dancing in front of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which is another amazing experience. I've had the experience of dancing in Cambodia to the backdrop of the Angkor Wat. So like that, there are many, many things. And I look at each of them as an offering to my gurus, because but for them, I wouldn't be here.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your wonderful experiences. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to Yashaswini to carry on the program forward.
Yes, thank you, Sudhir. Since we are only left with we are left with a very little time. The second last question we have today, right now, is that reading about you, ma'am, I personally was very fascinated by you establishing a dance academy at a very humble age. Would you please tell us something about that?
Yeah, I came back from Kalakshetra at the age of 17, and I started teaching at the age of 17 itself. So my earliest dance, I had 2 or 3 students, 6 students actually. And then slowly that institution has built up. It's now 41 years old. And it's an institution that has had so many students pass out. So it was an effort to share whatever I have learned.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. I think Tejaswini is frozen. Anyone else? Tejaswini, you're frozen. Sudesh, you want to take over? Tejaswini is frozen. Yashaswini is frozen. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I think some network issues there.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, I would like to forward call Shambhavi Shukla, the student leader, to present the vote of thanks.
Okay. You froze out, Yashaswini. Right. Yeah.
Honorable guest, respected teachers, and all my dear friends. I'm short of words to thank our today's guest, Dr. Ananda Shankar Jayant and Ms. Neha, for their mesmerizing performance in such times of crisis. We are fortunate enough to get some of your valuable time and learn about Bharatnatyam dance form. I would also like to take this opportunity to contribution of the members of SPICMECE Faizabad chapter and the IT department, without whom this event wouldn't have been a success. And also to the school management who gave us such an opportunity. Once again, thank you everyone and have a nice day.
Thank you everyone. Thank you SPICMECE, Umesh ji, thank you Babita, and everyone who has been part of this wonderful morning. Thank you Yashaswini, Sudesh, and Shambhavi. Yeah, and of course my dear student Neha, it's been a pleasure being here. Please go out there, dance, sing, learn, be connected to Bharatavarsha. It's a beautiful country. You are inheritors of an extraordinary civilization. Don't forget it. Don't disown it. Don't run it down. It's up to you to take this country to the next level. God bless you. Namaste.